Especially, I went to the Packer game yesterday.
Oh, fuck.
Literally, but I went and I didn't go in. So I didn't buy tickets to the game. My buddy, you know Sam Walsh?
Yeah.
He was visiting, and then his dad, he's given me the nickname the common denominator.
Really?
So I don't do anything wrong, but whenever I'm with Sam or like Jake Gain, I don't know if you're friends with him
I know Jake Gain. I play baseball with him.
They tend to get in trouble. So whether it's Sam going to jail or Jake going to jail or randomly, just dumb things. And so as a joke, I was like, what if I just bought a ticket to get on your bus? And I showed up in the morning and he's like, what the fuck? He literally, I have these t-shirts made up now. My brother made them for the show. And one is of Sam. And I just got on the bus and it was like out of a movie. His head's down. And Sam sees me, we lock eyes, he's laughing his ass. I was like, this isn't going to go well. And I just go, here, Sam, I have a shirt for you. And Mr. Walsh looks up and goes, what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, we just went and drank there. They went into the game, but dude, it was pretty cold. I did not want to go.
It's been freezing all fucking weekend. It's my girlfriend's birthday this weekend as well. Walking around from bar to bar, it was a shit show. It's cold as shit.
Dude, as much as I love the seasons, because I think I appreciate summer and fall more. It's way too long. Winter is way too fucking long here.
Yeah, well, it's been shorter lately. Now it's just starting to get cold in November. It used to be end of September.
Yeah,
you remember?
That is true.
Your guys' football seasons, you guys, I was freezing my ass off going to those games.
Fucking terrible. Especially when you're not, when you're not playing as a sophomore or even a junior, and you're just standing there. I'm like, why? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking about this. How do we know each other?
Mutual Franklin friends over the years.
Okay.
'Cause you've always been around, right? Since at least grade school, at least.
So I never went to a Franklin grade school.
Uh-huh.
I went to St. Mary's in Hills Corners. And then I literally was racking my brain since you and I were talking about you coming on. I'm like, what is the first instance? And I'm like, I can't think of it. And I was feeling super shitty. I'm like, I don't know if there is one.
I don't think there is truly. It's just so we've always been around each other.
Yeah, I mean, you have either neighbors or we went to school with each other. I'm like, none of that.
No.
None of that.
No. Well, I went to Marquette High instead of Franklin. But I was always around Franklin at least freshman, sophomore year of high school.
You're around a lot.
And all those fucking Village Club kids, too. I was there from young until at least
It might be Village Club then.
It might be.
With Joel.
Joel Vitrano.
Yeah. So Joel used to take me to Village Club. That's how his sister would babysit us. Be like, we're just going to take you to the pool, and then I got lifeguards to watch you, too. That might be it.
Yeah, and the twins and Braxton. I grew up with them, and Coos, all those kids. So I grew up with those guys.
Thrown into that group recently.
Yeah. Well, that's unfortunate.
I love those guys. They're nice.
I managed to avoid them for at least 5 years now.
Where'd you go to grade school?
Robinwood Kindergarten, Ben Franklin all the way through, and then Forest Park.
Okay, I was gonna say Ben Franklin had a middle school. They all go into Forest Park.
They all go to Forest Park, yeah.
Dude, what happened to that school? It is a university now.
I know. I live 2 doors down, so
you really?
Yeah, we got to watch the whole fucking thing. Plus, Luxembourg Gardens went down as well.
What's that?
It was this wholesale plant place that was right next to the middle school.
Oh,
yeah, a bunch of greenhouses and shit. Owner was probably growing pot in the back. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. They moved to Florida recently.
He's definitely growing pot then.
Oh, yeah.
No, I remember, I think I've said on here before, when I had Cody Gester on, she came to visit one weekend, and I picked her up when we were driving around hanging out, and I'm like, what is that? Because I think we're approaching the middle school. And she goes, I don't know. I'm like, where are we? I'm like, did I get lost? And I'm like, this is the fucking school?
Yeah.
All the soccer fields, how many do you think there were? There could have been
There was
12.
at least three or so full-size fields. But yeah, they just basically, they did what my parents did. They built a house in their backyard and knocked down the old house.
Really?
Yeah, that's what we did 3 doors down.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so same thing. It was pretty ridiculous, too. And they're trying to turn that big green space that lines up to our yard into a baseball or soccer field.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they bought the land next to ours.
Your parents did?
No,
the
school
district.
School yeah, the school district.
Well, they need somewhere to play. I mean, they got rid of all of it.
Yeah, so we'll see what they do. We're going to be one of the first people to know because they're building on our backyard.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
That
Hopefully
could be obnoxious as fuck.
My mom's hoping tennis courts. I'm hoping soccer field, so it's quiet because nobody will go to the soccer games.
Yeah. But also, how many people in Franklin are playing tennis?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah. Plus they could use it like the Village Club uses theirs. They could get all the moms. They could start leagues and all that good shit. They could make all sorts of money.
I guess, yeah. I think Village Club is the only place I've really seen people play tennis.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever played a single match of tennis in my life. They're
really?
Matches, right? That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
I would go to Lions Legend or what's the one on 76th that's by the Village Club?
Oh, that's just Greendale's recreational center or whatever with all
we'd
basketball
go there
courts
and
and
we'd play
stuff.
Talker. So we would just take a soccer ball and 2v2 and that was our version of tennis.
Yeah, well, we used to we would play points. I mean, me and Nicola Alia had a lot of grueling matches growing up. Those were always the
tennis?
best. Yeah. Every 2 times he'd beat me, I'd beat him once, but it was always close, and he was a competitive motherfucker.
He's very competitive.
Oh yeah, he's
very
a
competitive.
dick sucker at sports, man. Even video games. I was learning how to play FIFA when we were in like 9th grade, and he'd just wreck me ruthlessly, like 15-0.
You're either like really good at FIFA or you play every once in a while for fun. There is no in between.
No, there isn't.
It is like I like watching the people that are good too. I'm god awful. I would play. I got it when I was in high school, early on, and I enjoyed it. But I put it on like the easiest mode possible. I did create my player. I got like 10 goals a game. And then you see someone playing online match. I'm like, I can't even get the ball.
No, it's ruthless out there, and you're usually losing to some 11-year-old fucker who used his daddy's credit card to buy all his players.
Exactly. He's telling you your mom's a whore and suck his dick. I was like, dude, your voice is.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's when you tell them you're 10, so they feel a little bit worse. Sorry, bro. I didn't mean it. Yeah, good game. Sorry. Get better.
That's people love just bringing down an older person.
It's better on Chell though. It's weird. Most of the NHL games I've played, if I get cracked, they just thank you for finishing the game. Oh, good try, bud. Thanks for playing through, man. That was a lot of fun. You'll get better someday.
Do people rage quit a lot in both those? I'm assuming.
In Chell, yeah, because you get the nice Canadians and the angry Canadians. The nice Canadians will play through, and even if you're losing, they'll pull their fucking goalie and let you score to make you feel like even more of an asshole, but they still get to pretend they're nice. So that's even better. Down like 6-0 in the second period, the guy pulls his goal.
We'll give you one.
Yeah, we'll give you one. Then he scores 2 more. It's ridiculous.
The intricacies of those games, like at their core, they seem like the most basic games: up, down, shoot, X's, kick the ball.
Yeah.
Yet you watch them, I'm like, hey man, how did you just rainbow headbutt it? That's not even a thing, but like, it's impressive. And I've never gotten that into video games where I was like, or the patience to do it. My attention span for them is like 30 minutes. Yeah. And then I'm like, this isn't benefiting me at all.
No, I do it to pass the time. I think I had a PS3 until a year ago. I bought an Xbox when I knew COVID was coming. I said, I got to get something for myself.
I say that, but I bought a Switch like a month ago for flights. Yep. So when I'm flying out, like every once in a while, like I get sick of listening to my music or like you can put a podcast on, but I think when I have podcasts on at home or something like that, I'm working out or I'm driving.
Yeah, it's background.
When you're just sitting on a plane, you're like, I need something else to do. So I'm like, it goes by like that.
Yeah, I've been going to Serbia a little bit more often now on those trips, and they cut it up so it's not that bad. You have to go to either Germany or Austria. Okay. Because there's no direct flights from Chicago there. And yeah, it's usually just an edible, but sometimes I don't fall asleep. So then you try to get drunk. I don't know how long are your flights usually. They over 5 hours?
They're usually like anywhere between 2 and 4.
You don't have enough time.
Yeah.
The fail-safe is just getting hammered and passing out.
I've done it even on those. Like the most drunk I've ever been on a flight was a 45-minute flight.
Jesus. Yeah. How'd you find the time?
So I was living in Florida, in Miami at the time, and my mom and brother came down to visit. And they wanted to go. They're like, let's do a week at Universal and all this stuff. Like, we haven't been there in a while. Yeah. Like doing it as an adult is actually like, we're not like Disney family by any means. Like, I don't think we step foot in Disney. But when you're an adult and you go to those things, they're actually kind of entertaining. Yeah. Like downtown, I guess downtown Disney restaurants and shit like that. It's fun.
Yeah, we did that for Orlando, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that once too.
Or like Epcot. And so my mom flew back to Wisconsin. One of my brothers flew to Arizona, and I just had to fly down to Fort Lauderdale. And my flight that my parents booked for me were like, yeah, yours is at 9 p.m., but ours is at 3, and we have to check out of our hotel by 11, so you're going to sit in the airport until your flight. So I got there at 2 o'clock, and then sat at a bar next to my gate. Thank God, it was like a cool bar right by where my gate was, and I drank through 3 different groups of passengers for flights. One guy came back because his flight got like delayed, so he got back. I'm like, "You're still here?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm gonna be here for the next 5 hours." Got on the plane, and they're like, "Do you guys want drinks or anything?" Like, it's not even like when it's that short of a flight, they don't just assume like come by with the beverage cart. They're like, "If you guys want something, hit the button."
Yep.
I hit it right away. I'm like, "Can I have a double?" I'm like, "What do you have for?" She's like, "Booze?" I go, "Yeah, all right. This is this 45 minutes is gonna suck if I don't drink." And she's like, "I got this, and this," and it was like nasty tequila. I don't trust like tequila or any of that shit from an airplane. So I'm like, "I'll take the scotch, double shot of scotch." He goes, "Okay." I'm like, down that. It's the drunkest I've ever been getting off a plane. My buddy picked me up and goes, "What happened?" I'm like, "I've been at the airport for 9 hours."
Yeah, I have experience like that too. I was going, like I said, to Serbia, but our flight from O'Hare was late. So me and about 5 other passengers are running to this different terminal because they try to make it really hard to get into fucking Serbia from Austria because they just hate each other. And as we're getting there, the plane is rolling out, and we're like, fuck. So we're stuck there now for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm sitting in a bar getting hammered, and I see this girl, somebody in the community that I know, land in that area and then go to Novi Sad where my cousins are. And I'm like, holy shit, like, where'd you just come from? Blah, blah, blah. She's a airline stewardess. She's like, "Oh, I got lucky. A bunch of people missed their flight from Chicago, so I got to take their seats." And I'm like, "You fucking bitch."
That's what I see.
I haven't seen her in like 3 years too, and I'm like, "Fuck you." What the fuck? She bought me a drink when I was there. It was fine, but yeah, I spent 5 hours in a freaking, I think it was in Vienna airport.
Dude, the airports, there's something about just waiting in an airport. Like, if you told me my flight was canceled or delayed, and I'm still at home and I wait 5 hours, I'm not as upset. No. But the fact that I'm in the airport, I'm like, fuck this shit. Like, give me something, because I can't sit here. Like, there's no comfortable seating anywhere. If you want to lounge, you got to be a member for some airline.
That's true.
And it's usually a specific airline that I've never heard of.
And you don't have the credit card for it.
Exactly. Yep. It's like I'm not traveling 100,000 miles in the next month for this to be worth it. I flew back from Arizona 3 weeks ago, and we landed in Chicago, and I think the whole flight system's fucked right now because they don't have like pilots or flight attendants. We got there, and they're like, "Someone is in our gate. We have to wait for them to leave before we can unload you guys." I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Is there an empty gate? Like, I don't fucking care where I get off." He goes, "We gotta wait. Could be a half hour." I'm like, "We're already here, and I'm waiting 30 minutes on this plane." The guy to the left of me is one of those guys that can't accept the fact that he can't do anything about it. So he's bitching the entire... I sat on that runway for an hour and a half after I landed, waiting for a plane to clear so we could get off. Wait,
were you in Arizona during Halloween weekend?
Yeah.
I was in Phoenix too.
Were you really?
I was there for a wedding.
I was there I did 2 podcasts, one with Sammy, and then Sam had a Halloween party. His parents awesome. Still don't... We don't tell him his parents anymore when I hang out with him.
Really?
Like, we were on the bus and I brought something out and he goes, "Shut the fuck up." They don't. I'm like, "All right. Okay." We've talked about me living in Miami with him so many times on here. His parents don't know. I was there for 6.5 months.
Really? What the hell are you doing? This
is when I kind of started to realize this is what I wanted to do. And so I started doing this down there. We both worked for Ultra while we were down there. Sam was in school. But initially, I just moved down there because I didn't want to be in Wisconsin. I just graduated, and I'm like, when you were at Marquette, where'd you go to college?
I went to DePaul for a couple of years, and then finished at UWM.
Okay, so when you were at UWM, at any point when you were like a senior, I did 1 extra semester, but at any point where you had a bar, your last little bit, and you're like, my time's up?
Yeah, I was like that in Chicago, too.
You honestly, I looked around, and like, I used to come in here and I would know every single person, And as a social person, like, I like being able to bounce around in groups. Yeah. And now it's like nothing against the group of people I came with. But, like, if this is all I'm hanging out with tonight, what the fuck? And if I don't recognize anyone, they all look younger than me. The kids were starting to come at, like, 8 p.m. to get into the bar because they all had fakes, so they thought they could get in without a bouncer. I was like, my time's up. And I texted Sam. I was like, dude, can I come down? He goes, absolutely. And stayed on his couch for 6 months.
Jesus. That's not a bad way to be in Miami, at least.
Well, we lived in what I would call the retirement community of Miami. So, like, 30 minutes north of the city. Our oldest neighbors might have been, or youngest neighbors might have been 50. So, it was still fun. We went up to Fort Lauderdale a decent amount. Fort Lauderdale's a good time.
Really? I would never expected that.
Well, I guess, so you have two choices when you're there, especially where we live. So, we're here, Miami's down here, Fort Lauderdale. It's either 40 minutes, either direction. Go spend potentially $500 a night down in Miami, or $60 a night, and then run into spring breakers every once in a while. It was just a different crowd, but we would find, like, hole-in-the-wall bars and just, there's, like, nightclubs, and then we're in the one Jameson bar in the corner with the guy smoking a pack of cigs.
That's usually the best part,
they're
though.
our favorites. Like, I love those.
Yeah, a lot of my friends like the EDM and just
I can't do it.
Going to clubs, Celeste in Chicago, or the fuck
your
it's called.
Personality, your demeanor alone, just, like, I can't imagine you sitting there being like,
oh, no, yeah.
I can't picture you being almost energetic with your body movements.
Nah, it takes, that's summer skiing. I can do that, maybe. But other than that, no. My girlfriend resents it, too, because it was her birthday this weekend, and I'm trying to take her to a club or something fun. Yeah. And we couldn't do anything crazy because I'm going to Canada this weekend to visit my grandmother. Yeah. And if you fucking test positive to go see your grandmother for the first time in 2 years, you're a dick.
Yeah, regardless, oh my God, you're an asshole.
Yeah, regardless if it's your girlfriend's birthday or not. So we had to stay around here. So I'm trying to figure out somewhere to fucking go this weekend. And I'm like, let's go here. There's some music here, whatever the fuck. She's like, you won't even fucking dance with me. Every time you go there, you make it known you don't want to fucking be there. So let's just go to a bar and get drunk and be fine.
You sound like
and that's what we did.
When I walk in, I saw you at, what was that place
I don't
called?
even know what the fuck that place is called.
Hated it.
I despised it too.
I fucking hated it. So when I saw you downstairs, it was my buddy's birthday that day. And I'm like, Jake, he's like, we can leave. I'm like, your birthday. I have no problem being here, but I'm going to take breaks from doing this. I'm going to go sit down and have a conversation with someone down there and get drunk because I can't. There's no words. I call it laser beam music for a reason. Yeah. It's fucking insane. And that's why I think it's funny I worked for Ultra for when they were
that doesn't add up.
It was cool meeting people, and I didn't have to go into the venue. But when we did, I was like, I don't mind like someone like Odessa every once in a while. But we saw like Martin Garrix and Millennium, and I found out they do their like hardcore stuff at those things. So I'm sitting there and like everyone is drugged out of their mind. If you go to an EDM festival, if they're like Ultra, it's all water tents, Red Bull, and there's like 2 beer vendors in the entire. It was on an island, so the entire island, 2 beer vendors, and it was Michelob Ultra for like a play on words. I'm like, this is stupid, and it was like $18 a beer.
It's shitty booze or piss water.
Yeah,
those aren't worth it. I'd rather sit at a bar, drink some good whiskey or some beer, and listen to actual music over,
smoke a cigar or something. Yeah.
We went to that place called Shakers. I forget what road that's on. Downtown by the Bradley Clock. It's a beautiful cigar bar. It's like super old school, New Orleans inspired. You should check that place out. We went there for a couple of drinks and a cigar on Friday night. It was actually packed. Good music.
Really?
Yeah. Nice setting.
We did that in Miami a lot. That was like our thing. It was like, let's just go to the cigar lounge.
Yeah.
I enjoy that. And that was my favorite place in Madison, too, is a place called Maduro.
Okay.
It was never super packed. We always got the tables in like a back corner. It was like a little cutout, round table. You can get like max 5 people in there. And we would usually go, we're like, let's not go to the college bars tonight. And then
just chill
it's just 5 guys wasted off whiskey and head high from a cigar and a half. And it's good conversation. And it's anything from like religion, whether you're religious or not, we would talk about it. We try and stay away from politics. And, like, we don't need to get angry at each other. Fucking aliens, conspiracy theories, women, and it's like
the best nights out are like that, where you can actually have a fucking conversation.
You just express your thoughts instead of trying to be like, oh, dude, you want to get fucked up, and like shot. I'm like, as fun as that is every once in a while, it is nice to just be like, let's just see what's inside your head.
Yeah, and actually, another thing too is there's not many people can really drink anymore. No. So a lot of these people, I feel, in my opinion, need to be moving, rocking around, drinking some water, sweating it out as they drink. Otherwise, they're fucked. Like, I realize this, like, now I'm drinking with my buddies. A few of them...
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, a few of them can hang out and just, you know, you don't have to drink 15 beers or, like, go crazy. But just have 8 beers without being a menace. Yeah. Like, that should be a good thing. When I go visit my cousins, our favorite part isn't going, like, to the nightclubs and, like, crazy Eastern European bullshit. Yeah. It's sitting outside on the patio. We might have some gypsies, because my cousin's a musician. We get gypsies to come over and play for us a little bit, but we're just sitting there pounding bottles of wine. And that's it, for 8 hours.
That is like, those are my favorite nights. In college, we would do A bars. So when we were done with whatever, and it was just like, it's like us 4 and, like, maybe 3 other people that we befriended at the bar. Yeah. Our roommates, we just go back, play our music, and drink until we're like, we should go to bed. I see the sun.
The sun's a good sign. It means you're just beginning, though. You actually have to really drink.
The amount of times I saw the sun after, like, a shift at the bar in college was insane. Yeah. We'd go back and we'd smoke and drink, and we're like, it's time for bed. We work in 8 hours. Again, we're gonna do this again tomorrow. Yeah. Like, this, it's the most fucked up schedule we had, but I loved it. Like, I wouldn't trade that for the world. Would I do that all the time now? Probably not. But, like, not 4 days a week. But every once in a while, those are the absolute best.
Yeah, that's why you need at least a week-long bender once every few months.
Yeah, you need balance when in terms of, like, just going out. Like, it doesn't always need to be the, like, conversations like this, but it also doesn't always need to be
headbanging. Yeah, people fucking in the corner. It doesn't need to be that.
Oh, PDA is the worst. That might be my least favorite thing. It's like,
that's another thing with those fucking EDM festivals too. Everybody's trying to have sex in the fucking building.
That's because they're all
nobody
on
can wait.
Molly, and they're like, everything that they touch is gold.
You just calm down a little bit. Wait a half hour. You can find your bed. It's more comfortable. Trust me.
You're way more comfortable than, you know, rubbing up against me.
Yeah, literally, another person just standing behind you.
Have you ever done any of that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. That's a good. It's a good way to put it. I always forget you guys have real, like, jobs. Yeah. I should always lead with this every episode, but, like, this is going on the internet. So
I know. Be careful. I'm aware.
I'm aware. Well, no, I've had to remind people. I've had a few people who are like, "Hey, can you just not post that?" I go, "Oh, you mean the hour
that we just spent?
I spent, like, half hour setting up, hour talking." The 9 hours I did of editing and stuff and upload time.
Yeah, working on your actual content.
Yeah, you're telling me I just can't upload that anymore? I'm like, oh, all right. Like, hey, can you edit this part out? I don't think people realize when, like, can you edit this part out after it's been uploaded? Is, yes, editing it out is like that. But you don't understand, uploading a hour-long YouTube video takes, and you don't have, like, a large company's internet connection, takes several hours. Yeah. And that also is several hours where people aren't watching it.
Yeah, that's another thing. You got to work the algorithm. It's like with my job with Google. If you put something in and you take it out, Google's going to be like, what the fuck? Google's with YouTube. You got to be able to optimize your videos, make sure they have a good standing.
Yeah, you might need to help me with that.
We might work on some stuff. Yeah. We'll see. Just don't call me Saturday nights, take my site down, put my old one back up, and then put the new one back up 3 days later, and then the font's different, so take it back down today, please. Those are the clients I love, because then you just try to make money off of them out of spite. So then you got to, like, actually succeed for them to take more of their money. Like, I don't like scamming people, but if I don't like you as a client, it's kind of going to make me work even harder for you, because I want to take your money.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah. 100%.
So there's a few clients where I fucking hate them. But I work my ass off for them just because I want them to succeed so that we succeed more as well. That's always the bonus. Great, yeah. It's the best way to look at a crazy client is like, okay, I'm going to make you money so you give me more money.
Exactly. Because if they're gonna be like, take it down, put it up, take it down, put it up, then they're gonna be like, well, we can kind of do whatever we want with him. But in the back of your head, you're like, every time you do that, I'm making more money.
Yeah,
so I'm all right
I
with
just
it.
billed all 6 of those hours.
Yeah,
don't worry.
Yeah, it's like, keep asking me to do it. Actually, as annoying as you are, I will.
And I make it clear to them too. Nobody's not paying for this.
Yeah,
somebody's gonna pay for this. It's not gonna be us. So keep that in mind. And they don't care half the time. They're like, I don't care. I want to pay for it. I want this perfect.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Well, have you ever seen? I've seen like whether it's a tweet or videos where people like the difference between a $500 client and a $5,000 client. Mm-hmm. A $500 client is going to do the take it down, put it up, take it down, because that $500 means way more to them than that $5,000. Yeah. So they're like, this is what you give them one rendition, like fine, fucking set it up.
Yep. Or they have the budget where we don't like it. Can you give us another one? Yeah, you paid for that. We'll do that.
Exactly.
No problem.
Yeah.
So
it's true. I mean, money takes money to make money, but also they also realize time is money. So like the more time I don't have this up, I'm probably losing.
Yeah, you're losing views.
Yeah.
You're losing any indexing that's going on by Google and YouTube that's trying to figure out what new video is going to fill this query. Because YouTube's just like Google. You're searching for something, and then your video, if you want to be ranked in the top, has to be the best answer to that search. So you got to optimize for that search. So the longer you're missing out on the indexing, or you don't have the right content, or you have it, and then it switches out, the less likely you are.
We're definitely going to be talking after this, like, actual business. I'm trying to learn that, but it's a lot of moving pieces when you're doing, like, a brand, and it's just you, which kind of sucks.
Yeah,
but
and the rules are always changing as well.
Always. It's like you never know what's going to do well. Like, as much as I always say, like, I hate TikTok and stuff like that, but you gotta play the game.
No, yeah.
It sometimes a video go up and I'm like, there's no fucking way, and then I'm like, oh wow.
This is the numbers.
And then there's one I'm like, this is like the funniest shit ever, and it's like a fraction of what you think.
Well, yeah, I feel that goes with a lot of the fucking social media viral videos.
Oh yeah.
Stuff that I find funny has the least amount of views.
Oh yeah.
And it's more because I have a sick sense of humor, or drier than most, where the stupid shit, it's funny, but I'm not going to seek it.
Exactly. I think I'm the same boat. Like, my humor's a little different than most. Also, I've noticed that the videos that do well, the funny ones, they're accompanied by such, like if it's with music, it's boosted. If it's, I'm like, yeah, but I'm not putting music to, I'm not putting Eye of the Tiger to the back of my...
Yeah, you don't need that.
No.
Or who's that guy that won the game, basically, right? That Mr. Beast guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He
cracked
has
the code.
He has it down to a science.
Yeah.
He literally, I've watched interviews with him. He said, I have done like 10 years of basic research. I know how to make a viral video. I mean, his bad videos are like 30 million views. That's absurd.
Yeah.
But like, because now you expect it from that guy, you're like 30 million. Oh, this was a bad video.
Yeah, and he's still making like, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 million off of that?
Yeah, it's absurd.
Yeah, well, when you figure out how to create a template that'll work with the fucking indexing rules and the algorithm and the search volume, whatever, the searchers, they kind of tell you what's going on too, tell Google what's going on too. So if your shit's getting watched all the way through, recommended, linked to other places, that always helps, because people are like,
helps for sure.
Yeah. So it's never ending too. So if you can get stuff that people actually watch for more than 10 seconds, fulfills a query like that Mr. Beast guy does, because I get stuck in those videos every once in a while.
Well, yeah, it's also absurd because he spends the amount of money he does. Like, the idea of like just giving someone $1 million is going to intrigue everyone. Because you're like, one, it could be me. Two, it'd be awesome to do that. Yeah. It's insane.
Pepsi does that for 10 seconds on the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
So it's the same science. He's doing it.
What does the Super Bowl commercial cost this year? I could look it up. I need someone to just look shit up.
Yeah, you need a Jamie like on Joe Rogan.
I really do. Do you like watching like Rogan episodes?
I pick and choose.
Oh, I'm definitely like, if I see a guest that I'm not a
diehard. It's not even if I'm not a fan. If it's just not interesting, I'm not going to listen to it just because it's Joe Rogan.
I agree. I think he's good at like being a conversationalist. But if there's a guest that I'm like, the description says, this man like studied carrots for 2 years and was like a health nutritionist. I'm like, I don't fucking care.
This is for.
I'd rather the alien ones or like
Yeah, but Joe Rogan's at a level you want to get where he can pick and choose whoever the fuck he wants to interview.
And people are asking him, but at the same time, it gets annoying when people you don't like are like, hey man, can I do this? I'm like, I don't know you. And like I posted a video with that once, and the guy's like, chill out, man. You're not. He goes, you're like not Rogan. I'm like, no shit, Sherlock. But let's be honest, like if you are having a bunch of people like, I want to do this. No. I get it. No. But like this is for me. Okay, Super Bowl commercial cost 2022. Yeah. Dude, I keep forgetting what year it is. Yeah, Jesus Christ. Take a guess.
For 30-second ad?
30 seconds. For NBC, yeah. It's up from last year, I'll tell you that. So CBS had it last year.
7.8 mil.
6.5.
Overshot it. NBC's cheap, I guess. Jesus Christ.
CBS last year was 5.6.
Really?
And then, yeah, this year it's, what did I say? 6.5?
6.5.
Yeah.
$1 million off. It's
around. For 30 seconds, but that's it. Not everyone is doing 30-second ads. Like, there's going to be one probably about, like, an adoption agency that's going to be 3 minutes long.
Yeah, Sarah McLachlan singing to you.
Probably. Coke will probably do, or no, I bet you Apple does one, or they're dancing with colors, and that's 45 to a minute.
You know what you're going to see the most of? Ford electric vehicles.
Really?
You're going to have the most ads about that. That is, with a couple clients I have, a couple clients we're chasing, and just the regular lay of the land. When Ford lets that shit out, if they can do it, it's going to be madness.
Oh, I believe that.
In terms of advertising and the different companies that are going to pop up. There's going to be like charging station supply companies, like commercial fleets. They're going to be all like Hertz did with all the Teslas. Commercial fleets are going to be doing that. If Ford can pull it off, that's going to be something to see. This is going to change everything, especially with like people driving like the Amazon trucks.
Yeah.
Those little vans, those could be electric and all this crazy shit.
Within 10 years is going to be electric.
Yeah, I have an okay car right now, but I'm trying to buy something old and dirty and fucking crazy for my last year just to run it to the ground and then buy an electric. I want something interesting at least for a year that's on gas.
Yeah, I think I'm always going to have, like, I'm by no means am I a car connoisseur, but I do appreciate cars. Like, you asked me how to fix an engine. I mean, dude, you look at my license plate. I lost the bolt the other day, and it's just hanging. So,
it could be worse.
It could be worse, but yeah. So, but I think I will always have a gas car. Like, even if electric cars take over the world, it's gonna be those guys now. Like something like Jay Leno's garage. He's got hundreds of
millions worth of cars.
Yeah, and it's just old muscle cars. Like you gotta, why not?
Yeah, but those can be like the novelty things. You can try one out at a track. Because only gas cars worth driving. I mean, your car, no offense, is not going to be, you're not going to feel a different experience compared to an electric vehicle. It might even be better.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying it's, I think it, like, I get what I was getting at is it is going to be a novelty thing and that I want, like some people collect old cameras because like we're going back to, what is it? Those fucking,
those Polaroids.
Polaroids, yeah. It's that. It's going to turn into that where it's going to be cool to have one. You're going to bring it to a party and be like, oh my God, look at me for the night.
Look at the gas car, yeah. I guess.
It's like the gas car might turn into the Polaroid camera.
Yeah, that's like I've been looking at ridiculous stuff. It's all like under 12 grand, so it's nothing like crazy. But like there's this 1985 Porsche 944S. It's only like 8 grand, but it's a beautiful car. And you can get it for 8 grand, 95,000 miles, and you can have it for a year, run it into the ground, and just go electric.
True. I believe there's gonna be a lot of people who are gonna start inheriting these cars that are like almost a generation past us that are not gonna appreciate them. So they are gonna be super cheap.
Yep.
They're gonna be like, I just want, like, imagine giving if you had a brother right now who was like 6, and you gave him, I don't know, an iPod, like iPod 3, like just I don't fucking want this.
Yeah,
it's like, but I can run this into the ground. I can still play music. I can do all this. People are gonna start looking at those things like I don't care. It's gonna be new technology.
Yeah, and all that shit will be off for the cheap then, eh?
Our attention span, even for products, is decreasing, I think.
It is. I got a new phone a year ago. I feel like I need a new one already.
Yeah,
it's too slow.
I actually hate getting new phones. Like if one, like I just got a new one too. But the last one, my last one for 5 years.
Really?
And the one before that was the only time I've never gotten a new phone because it was new. Mm-hmm. It's either my plan was up and they're like, we'll give it to you for free, basically, and then like, all right, then there's no reason not to do it, or it's like in half, or it doesn't charge.
Oh yeah, that's my problem. I just break them like once every other year, so I've always gotten the new one because of that. So I'm just a piece of shit about it.
I think my littlest brother has this year alone, or let's say whole calendar year, 4 phones.
Jesus.
Just breaks him. He gets drunk, and I'm like, do you throw them in the river? Or, like, he'll come back, and it looks like he took a sledgehammer to him. I'm like, dude, you have to throw this at the ground for it to break that bad.
The worst was when I ran over my own phone once. That was my worst broken phone.
How do you do that?
Fell out of my pocket as I got in the car under the front wheel, and I was reversing to get out. And I just heard a crunch, and I checked my pockets, and I'm like, Mom,
you're like, I know what it is.
Fuck.
That's when you're like, I'm not even getting out of the car. Just stay there till I get back.
Yeah, and I was like 17, so it was like my first touchscreen phone ever or whatever, and barely allowed to drive ever as well, because my parents hate my driving at that age. I'm like, fuck, so like, you buy me a new phone, and it's because I drove the fucking car.
It's God like a double negative. I mean, they're just kills you. We're like, we knew it. Everything led up to this point.
Yeah, it got even worse with me in the car. I mean, this is a good story. On graduation day from Marquette High, we all planned to get, you know, a little drunk, enjoy ourselves.
Why not?
And I started drinking a little bit ahead of time. And I was in such a hurry to get out that I forgot the garage door was closed. So I backed through the garage door with my car. Now, this was also my birthday, was graduation day as well this year. So I ran into my parents' room. It's like 7:30. It's the only time I could ever get away with this. It's graduation day and my birthday. Hey, Mama, Tata, I backed the car through the garage. Can I take your car? Yeah, sure, here. 15 minutes into my drive, my dad's like, what the fuck did you do to your fucking... What the fuck? It's dented to this day. But when they got to the place and they saw me with my diploma, I barely walked up the stage. My dad's like, this is a great day for you to do that, huh, you fucker?
Yeah. Dude, it's one of those things you don't expect someone to, like, say. So you're like, all they heard was, can I borrow your car? And then when they're like, wait, what the fuck did he just say?
On the way to his graduation.
Yeah, like, are you drunk already?
Yep.
No, my same brother that's gone through 4 phones has hit this garage door 3 times. Twice going from the outside, once from the inside.
That's unfortunate.
I understand once. Like, I've even, like, when you're in a parking spot, I've never gotten into an accident with it, but, like, you just don't go all the way back, and you kind of, like, slowly back out, and you start going forward. You're like, oh, shit.
Yep.
And so I get how that could happen, or you just don't park it, and it goes into the garage. 3 times is a fucking problem,
purpose.
though.
That might be on purpose. Somebody needs a little more attention, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, Andrew, I take it easy. I think you park on the street from now on. Dude, there was one, you're talking about breaking phones, Joel of Toronto, I remember him, I think he chronically broke his phones when he was younger, and he said that his worst one was, he goes, I made a bowl of ramen, and I dropped my phone into the ramen, and he goes, that was the most expensive bowl of ramen in human history. It was a $300 bowl of ramen. I was like, that sucks.
Fucking Joel. I remember him. He always had some dipshit stories like that, though, too.
Oh, yeah, he still does. I think he's tamed up a little more now, but...
He was always a smart kid that did stupid shit.
That's a great way to describe him.
That's how I always found him. Because I was never super close with him, but we were friends enough, village club, middle school. He's a super smart kid, but always just doing the dumbest shit. All the time.
I think he's a natural born salesperson too.
Yep.
And he's in sales now, and I'm like, it just makes sense.
Yeah, he can talk your ear off in the best way.
About nothing. Like I could do one with him here for like 2 hours.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, imagine. I don't know if I would talk for more than 20 minutes, and I don't shut up. But Joel, you get Joel on a topic he likes. Like if I was like, Joel, lacrosse, go, and he'd be like, he'd be like, yep. I'm like, I played too, but all right. He's out in Denver. He loves it out there.
I can imagine he loves it out there.
It fits him.
It does fit him.
He says he's in like 6 lacrosse leagues. I think it might be 4. I mean, Probably smokes whenever he wants. That'd be nice to have dispensaries up here. I'm getting into it now more. It'd be real nice. Like, I love walking in there when I go down to Denver or up in Michigan. We'll go up there and we're like, just walk in. I'm like, I'll take this, that, $20, you're out.
Yeah, that was, I had that same experience. I was in Vancouver. I was 19. It was a family trip. But in 19 in Canada, you can do whatever the fuck you want. And I've tried but failed to use a fake in Seattle to get into a dispensary. It was expired. So they're like, fuck off. Yeah. But we pull into our hotel, and it's right across the street from the largest dispensary in British Columbia. It's called West Canada. Okay. And I get out of the taxi and I look at it, and my eyes just bulge. And my mom makes eye contact with me. She's like, "You motherfucker, no." And I'm like, no problem. So fast forward to that night, we go out for dinner, whatever. We get back to the hotel room. I tell my parents I got a horrible stomach ache. I don't want to fuck up our hotel room. I'm just gonna go in the lobby. I sprinted across the street. I thought it was recreational, so you could just walk right in. The security guard stops me. No. You gotta have a medical card. I'm like, oh, fuck. He's like, well, we have our doctor right there. I'm like, oh shit. He's like, go talk to him. You're 19. I'm tired. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, I'm also a Canadian citizen as well. It doesn't matter. I'm like, okay.
Canada's real loose on their laws.
Yeah. And then the guys asked me questions. It's like 3 questions. Like, you ever smoked before? Why'd you smoke? What do you think you need this for? And I was like, insomnia. He's like, okay.
Good answer.
Yeah, puts it down. Then it takes me a tour. I get like a gram of each thing. Meanwhile, this all took 10 minutes. So I run back to the hotel room. I actually have to take a shit. Go back upstairs. And then my parents are like, wow, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. Actually, I was in there. I remembered that this kid from Marquette High School, he went to British Columbia University. He's still here. So I called him. I'm going to go meet him. Zach Armstrong was living in Germany at the time. So I just went for a walk around Vancouver and just smoked a joint and completely lost my mind. It was horrible. It was like crack cocaine, the shit that they had there. Really? It was ridiculous. Yeah, it was bad. And then I come back, whatever, it's all fine. We go back, we're driving back from Vancouver to Seattle. We make it through. I didn't bring anything back, but I brought like a grinder as a souvenir, just for fun. And we come back, we go to Seattle, we're in the hotel room. And apparently my toothpaste exploded in my toiletry bag or something. And for the first time in his life, my father decides he wants to like clean something for me. Yeah. So he's like, I'm going to clean out his bag. And he finds the grinder with like a little bit of crumbs in there. Throws me all around the fucking hotel room. Blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, I'm supposed to move in with Mitch Cherapata the next week on the east side because we were going to be roommates together. You're not really fucking Mitch. He's a fucking crackhead too, isn't he? So I literally went to my mom. I'm like, Mom, trying whatever money I have in savings, I don't even know because I was never allowed to touch my money when I was that age. Just send it to me. I'm going to go find the nearest Serbian church. I guess I live in Seattle now. She's like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Whatever. We go home and then we go by Mitch's house like a few days later because we wanted to get our shit ready. And my dad and Mitch's dad are better friends than me and Mitch are. Oh, really? Like when I would go over for sleepovers to Mitch's house, my dad would sleep over as well. Like through 5th grade all the way through college.
Just
all the
get
time.
Wasted. And...
Oh, yeah. Have you ever met Mitch's dad?
No.
He's done you a disservice then. You need to meet Ed. Ed is one of the craziest people I've ever met and a great man. But, yeah, they get crazy.
My dad had a neighbor friend like that, and we would have like family bonfires and stuff like that, and it would get to the point where we're like, all right, you two have to leave because you're pissed drunk arguing about politics and religion and just they're best of friends. Like they would walk into each other's houses unannounced and both the wives would buy the respective booze that they drank. So there was always like a 175 of gin at theirs, and there was always like whiskey or something at ours. Because those kind of friends, I'm like, it's just we know what's gonna happen when you two are together.
Yeah, they're at my graduation party. I think you were actually there because like there's like 200 random kids just showed up. It was because I had that house back down with the basketball court. You might have been there.
I don't know if I was there.
But anyways, and then it was Serbia played Panama that night too in Chicago for soccer. So everybody after the soccer game came to my house too. and we had a couple pigs roasting and lambs roasting, whatever.
Well, I would have remembered that. I was not there. I would love to do that, though. Once.
People decided to camp out, too, on the yard or whatever. So there's tents, and there's kids smoking pot in all these fucking tents, drinking, whatever, and sleeping in their cars and all this shit. My dad and Mitch's dad were on my patio drinking probably till like 6 o'clock in the morning. 6:30 comes around. I wake up because I got to see what kind of shit show this is out here. There's literally 60 cars up and down our driveway. Tents, you can see the lights on, you can see the smoke coming out of them. I go into one, it's a couple of my buddies. I'm like, what the fuck are you guys still doing up?
It looks like a homeless life.
Yeah, they're just passing a bowl around, whatever the fuck. Then all of a sudden, I hear just a million fireworks start going off, and Johnny Cash is blaring, and these two old guys just cackling. And all these kids start freaking out. I had a naked kid crawl out of one of our garages and just start running for his car. I don't even know why he was naked. It made no sense.
Out of a movie.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember who was there that you would know. Nicola was fucking asleep. I'll figure it out. But anyways, all 60 of these cars just zoop, all gone. Tents all packed up, all within like probably 10 minutes. And then we're just surveying, we're just seeing beer cans in the fucking trees, all sorts of random shit. Puke on the basketball court, puke on a fucking tree, puke in our basement sink, and all this random shit. And my parents are just like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, I didn't invite anybody. They just came. I told 3 people, man.
News travels quickly. You need to graduate again so I can come to one of these things.
Well, when COVID's over, we'll probably have something again. We always usually have like a big bunch of people come over, do a couple lambs at least once in the summer.
Have you guys has your family been kind of not strict, but
not strict? More? I mean, my dad's a pharmacist. He works at a hospital.
Okay.
So we've had to be a little careful in terms of,
exposure.
Yeah,
and
just
like
not
that.
being assholes.
Yeah,
it's just
that's
simple
fair.
as that. I mean, I'm neither here nor I'm vaccinated. I don't really care if you're not. It's not my problem.
I also couldn't fucking care if you are or not.
My dad's a pharmacist and has spent more time reading the shit with all the doctors in my family and nurses in my family, and they tell me to do something, I'll do it. I don't care. It's them. They know more than me. And they're also the kind of doctors and pharmacists that hate the pill companies and hate like overprescribing people. And like my dad works in a specialty hospital with like long-term care patients, either addicts or people who got in horrible accidents, and he sees people get hooked on shit so easily.
Dude, I'm afraid like when I get sick, and this is such a minor case compared to people actually getting hooked on like legit drugs, but I'm so afraid to become dependent on something, and for like I also think one day I'm gonna be so sick that I actually like medicine might actually help me. So like if I have a headache and people are like, here, take 3 Tylenol, I'm like, I'll take 1. Or if you take like Mucinex, like take it every 12 hours. I will see if like, unless I desperately need it, I'm like, let's stretch it out to 16.
Yeah.
I don't like or sleeping pills is my big one. I am so afraid to become dependent on like a sleeping pill or melatonin that if I don't have it one day, there's no physical way I'm going to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I think I can do this naturally with a lot of things. But yeah, I'm like genuinely afraid to become dependent on some form of drug.
Well, it's easy. It happens.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can't avoid any of those injuries long term. It's going to happen. But
no, and I'm not saying I'm trying to avoid getting sick or hurt or anything like that. But
or even like the Xanax or the melatonin and that shit. Yeah, people have kind of an empty prescription pad for anxiety and stress and all that shit.
They did that.
But I mean, I'm an anxious motherfucker. I've been shivering my ass off this whole time.
Yeah, I'm glad I have my sweatshirt on. Usually I just wear a t-shirt. I'm like, dude, just put a sweatshirt on. Who fucking cares?
Oh, it's like 25 degrees.
I know. Actually, I'm doing better than I thought right now. Usually by now I'm like doing like really doing this.
I've been sitting in a cold ass office all day, so I could use a glass of whiskey, but I'll wait till I drive home.
Yeah. No, I by no means would I put down anyone with like anxiety or depression, but I think we often, and some people won't like this take, but I think we also use those as an excuse to just either be an asshole or not perform at your highest. So people are like, oh, I'm depressed. I'm like, no, you had a bad day. That's it. You don't use a legitimate, like some people are like legitimately depressed, and just because you had a bad day doesn't mean you're depressed. Or because you're performing at a level that you don't think you should be. I'm like, I'm anxious, or I'm like, let's pump the brakes on this.
Yeah.
You're just being lazy, and then your laziness and lack of effort is what's causing your so-called depression or anxiety. So I don't like people that use it as a crutch or an excuse.
Yeah.
Because it does diminish the severity of people who really do have it.
Yeah, that's the main point, is it diminishes the severity of the real people who have it. If everybody can have it, then why is it such a big deal if somebody who really has it has it?
It's like a weird version of like the boy who cried wolf. If everyone's depressed, eventually we're all just gonna be like, someone's really gonna be depressed, and you're not gonna fucking know it
or care about it because everybody else is.
Exactly. You're like, we all are. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yep, exactly. That's the thing.
It's dumb. It's I've never. I think I've definitely had very bad days or even a bad month, but I can't fathom the idea of people who are chronically like that.
Yeah, I need Alexa Pro just to wake up in the morning.
Exactly.
That's a struggle, and I respect anybody going through that struggle. But there's people who milk it. Definitely. And you see it too in the workplace, in the way, especially the kids coming up that are maybe 4 or 5 years younger than us.
Yeah.
Like the recent college graduates, so maybe even a little more older. But it's ridiculous. The expectations people have. Like, I'm no manager, senior leader, or any of this shit, but the expectations kids have to get taken care of in the workplace these days is out of control.
I believe it. Or even to be at the top right away.
Yeah.
It's like
instant gratification.
And
yeah.
Like it's gonna. I think a lot of it's a learning lesson. I think a lot of these kids didn't have jobs growing up, so they're like, oh my god, I actually have to work outside of this. But I think it's also like, once you find something you like, you're like, all right, this isn't gonna happen right away. And you're like, dude, I'm doing this in the fucking garage right now.
I know. That's where you start, though. That's where you're supposed to start. You're supposed to be shitty.
I always think that if this works out, I will look back one day and be like, my favorite episodes were the ones in the garage.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where you got to be a little more free too. You don't have to worry about your ad reads or any of that bullshit like that.
I don't have like a manager breathing down my neck or whatever. It's literally just like, I meet my friends out at the bar and we're like, dude, come on the show, and a week later you're here.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the best. I love that.
I know. I don't think I've seen you for a decade at least, too.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been a while. Like, and I've seen you through. I've had this conversation too with so many people. Like, I feel like I have kept up with you just from social media and stuff like that. And my last like images of you were like longer hair, big beard. That, no lie, when I first saw you at the bar, I'm like, I did a double take. I'm like, oh shit, it's Peter.
Yeah, I just shaved that day too, so I might have made it worse.
You were real clean looking that day.
Yeah. Well, I do this thing where every year I get my head shaved.
Oh, really?
And then I grow it out to around shoulder length. So you just get one haircut. A couple neck shaves here and there, but you get 15 different haircuts for the price of one.
Fair.
So it works out. And my hair grows like a motherfucker too. Like, I just got my hair shaven 3 months ago.
Really?
Maybe.
That's pretty long. Yeah, I'm just starting to grow mine back out again. I can't do, my hair is pretty straight, so then when I grow it out, it doesn't look great. Like, I just had like curls in the, like for me, I'm like, it's not as wavy as it should, but I'm like, I'll do it every once in a while. I used to buzz my head when I was younger.
I remember that. I've seen you with buzz cuts.
Yeah. I don't like them now.
Yeah, I like them in the summer. They're nice and cool.
I'll just go shorter on the sides, and now I'll just, when it gets wintertime, I'll grow it out. This is the first year I haven't done no shave.
Really?
November.
Yeah, I used to be the big thing for me because I could do it at like freshman year. Yeah. So I've had a stash since I was in like 6th grade.
So it'd be cool to do.
Yeah, I'd be the douchebag with a beard at like age 14.
I haven't. Yeah, this first year I haven't done it in a while. Something about it hit me like last week. I was like, I feel fucking gross. I don't know what it was. I'm like, this doesn't fit me. I've been like, I lost weight from when I was doing it. Like, when I had a beard before, it was literally to disguise my face being bloated out. And it's like, now my face is skinny. I'm like, why not just leave it there? The stubble's fine. Shit, good.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I'm fat, skinny, fat, skinny, fat, skinny, like throughout.
You fluctuate?
Oh, yeah. I'll be at 250 for a month, and then I'll be around 220 like 3 months later. Then I'll be up to like 235, and then down to 215. I'm probably like 235 right now. Yeah, getting ready for the 250 winter.
Yeah, I was, I don't know what I was. I know I've lost like 15, 20 pounds since college. But that was bad. Like, you know it's bad when your parents are like, dude.
Oh, yeah. My dad's been calling me fat since I was 19.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I hate though is like, so when I was saying I was grow it out just to like disguise your face. I hate the guys, and I would yell at. I had a manager at the bar. He would shave his neck up to chin to give himself a fake jawline. I'm like, dude, it looks worse. Also, you don't have a jawline. It's cheating. Like, you do realize, when you shave, when you put your head down, for people who don't know this, you don't want to see your neck hair, but you also want this to still have hair. So the goal is, as you grow a beard out, you just cut it farther and farther down so it grows out. Cutting it up to here to yourself, it looks, and then you put your head down, and then this rolls out like this, does not look good.
No.
At all.
I struggle too, because my hair connects all the way from the top of my head to my toes. If you see, it goes all the way to my chest. And
you are a hairy motherfucker.
Oh, I'm a hairy bastard. Yeah. I've inherited from all sides of the family. We're all mountain people from our region.
I don't have it quite to my. I think I got a good 3 inches.
Yeah, a bit of separation.
Yeah, a bit of separation. But other than that, I'm decently hair. I got down to my toes too. Yeah. Hair on the big toe. It might be the most disgusting hair.
I got too many to even think that there's one. So I don't really care.
I also hate feet. So I'm like this. It's just looking at it. I'm like my own feet. I'm like, dude, it's fucking. Put some socks on. Put some socks on.
Oh fuck.
We got 5 minutes.
Okay.
Get you out of here. I have one question I'm going to ask you.
All right.
I do it at the end of every episode now, and I change it per season, and it's like a more serious thing, kind of.
That works.
Just to give you an idea of types of questions, it's last season I asked people, what is something you have to do before your next birthday? It's like something you've always wanted to do, been putting off, because like, oh, one day I'll do it. My goal is just to challenge you to fucking do something.
Okay.
This one is, what is something you live by? So like, if you ever come across a quote or like you watched a podcast and someone said something inspirational, you're like, that hit way harder than it should have, and it's kind of like live with you. Do you have kind of like either a life motto or like a quote or two, like this is how people should act, how I act, how I live my life?
Yeah, well, as a creative writing major, you would think I'd have some sort of quote or novel passage stored away in my head.
Is there like a, and it doesn't have to be like, is there something your family has always said, or, I don't know. Like give you an example. Mine was, I heard it from a clip from my actual Rogan podcast, and it was a guy said, a man lives 2 lives, and his second starts when he realizes he has just one.
That's a good one. Well, the way I grew up, the way my dad grew up, I mean, my dad and my uncle, they shouldn't be where they are. They were first-generation immigrants. Parents didn't speak any English. My dad had to wear a helmet his first day of school because they thought he was autistic. So he was like 5 feet tall.
I'm sorry.
No, that's a true story.
That's fucking awesome.
So, and then my dad's a pharmacist. My uncle's a pretty successful C-suite guy, which neither of them should be. They're psychopaths when they're high school. People look down on them all the time. So just not fucking that up, that's kind of what I live by.
I like that, though.
You got to continue the progression.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because they put in a lot of work, and my grandfather and my other all my grandparents are Serbian. They put in a lot of work to get our families where they are. I don't, by any means, I don't have to turn us into a millionaire kingdom family. Yeah. But just to make us continue on.
It's family progression, basically, is what you live by.
Not wasting what they did. That's kind of what I want to live by.
Actually, that helps me too, because it doesn't. I tell people it doesn't need to be a quote. It's just something you saw that I want to keep it going. You keep the family business of success.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just keep it going forward.
Make it better for the next person.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think everyone has a little bit in them that they want to do that. They want to, one, not only give back to their parents, but also make the next generation easier, or not so much easier, but just like guide them in the right direction.
I agree.
It's cool. No, I think that's how you realize life. I think about this. People used to complain. How do I put it? When you said people think they should be coddled or taken care of things. How do I want to put this? It's gonna bother me. People used to complain that like their parents didn't give them enough, yet all they want to do is I want to buy my mom a car. It's like, that's how you know what they did was good enough because they want to repay you. You want to repay them. I think people need to think about that. Like, if you want to repay your parents at all, one, that shows you how good life is. So don't complain that life sucks. The fact that you're wanting to repay someone for getting to where you even are today shows you that you enjoy being here. And
I've been told many a time, well, while my mother intervenes, my father wants nothing from me. You know, take care of him in his old age, yes. But money-wise, gift-wise, he's told me many a time he doesn't want it.
Oh, my parents want nothing. No.
Yeah, they just want they want you to be okay, and they want to make sure, for their own reasons as well, that they did a good job. Yeah. Showing them that they did a good job, I think, is the best gift you can give them.
Absolutely. So, no parent wants a gift. No one has a kid and goes, I hope one day he buys me a Ferrari.
Oh, I'm sure there's plenty that do.
Yeah. There's maybe the D1 athlete chasers or something like that. But I think even a little bit of them inside is like, I just want them to live a good life. Are there perks? Yeah, and some are a little more money hungry. But I agree with you. I think most parents just want to make sure their kids are okay. And that doesn't mean you need to be a millionaire.
Exactly. That's the main thing. You do not have to be a millionaire.
But it doesn't mean don't shoot for it.
Don't shoot. Yeah, you don't not have to shoot for it, but the joys in life do not come strictly from money. Like I said, you can be in Serbia making €500 a month. Is it going to suck? Yeah. Does the government suck there? Yeah. But you can still find ways to smile and have a good time regardless of what you got.
Money helps. Don't get me wrong. Money fucking helps.
Yeah, it does.
But at the end of the day,
there's people with a lot less who can do a lot more than people with money here. Trust me on that.
All right, that's perfect. We are a minute over an hour. Let's get you warm whiskey and home. Thanks for coming on, buddy.
Right. I hope I didn't waste your time.